Welcome to part 2 of Y Combinator startup ranking for this summer's cohort. We've got 10 new startups for you guys to look over, and by you guys I mean me. A lot of AI startups out of this small sample. Let's get into it. I have a theory. I don't know if it's based off anything really, but ChatGPT founder, CEO Sam Altman was also the CEO of OpenAI, not OpenAI, Y Combinator, right? And Y Combinator puts out one of the most amount of founders through its cohort, and it's got 4 different seasons, and in those seasons I think 300. Let's search that up real quick. Accepted in each cohort. So they accept about 250 to 400 startups per batch, with an acceptance rate of about 0.6 to 1.5%. And for the past 2 years, I'd say they've had a heavy focus on AI. And so it's interesting with ChatGPT, former CEO being one of the largest AI companies right now, especially with that also being the largest competitor for a lot of the startups coming in to Y Combinator. So it's interesting to see how that plays out, and whether or not the goal is just for OpenAI to purchase a bunch of these startups, or to have, I guess, almost inside information into their prospective competition. That's me with a conspiracy hat on, but nonetheless, a lot of AI in this cohort, and just within the 10 that we'll be reviewing today. Let's get right into the video. Our first startup is Baud. Baud is a 3-person team based out of San Francisco, and it was started this year. Baud is building the future of AI compute. Instead of just renting GPUs from the same giant cloud companies everyone else uses, Baud is building AI training chips and developer platforms from first principles. The pitch is train, fine-tune, and deploy frontier models with way better performance than current incumbents. What makes it unique is that this is not just software, it's hardware, chip architecture, developer tools, and a platform all in one. I like this startup. Anything hardware, I'm gonna just rank higher, just on a difficulty sense. It cranks it up. And then on novelty, I put it at pretty, I don't know if it's that novel, but it's not every day you get someone saying, I'm gonna make a competitor to NVIDIA or Intel or any other chip manufacturer. So for that, I'd give it a decently high score on its uniqueness, world changing. If they can be the new NVIDIA, I think it'd have a significant economic and geopolitical impact versus a lot of these other startups. So for that reason, I'm giving Baud a S or an A. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'll give him an S, just for the fact that I think that's one of the hardest things a startup could do right now, is try and get into chip manufacturing. So I'll give him that. Next up is Glen. Isn't that the guy from, not Dexter, Johnny Test? There you go. The evil kid. Glen is building the shared brain for companies. Instead of AI agents only seeing one Slack thread, one code diff, or one doc at a time, Glen reads from where work already happens. Code pulls requests, issues docs and meetings, then it gives agents the full context. So a coding agent can understand why a line was written, not just what the line says. What makes it unique is the idea that the company's knowledge becomes reusable skills for the next person or AI agent doing similar work. Founded in 2026, so this year, a team of one, and it's based out of San Francisco as well. This I'm gonna put probably at F for future risk. I just feel like this is something ChatGPT or another larger AI platform or tool can easily incorporate into their startup. Not to say that this won't be something profitable. I think if they can develop this into a feature that people really like and has sufficient customer base, I could see them getting acquired and providing a decent return. Uniqueness, I don't think it's really unique, especially in the time that we are now. Maybe if this was 10 years ago, but as of now, I'd put Glen as F for feature risk. Next is Florin is building the financial operating system for startups. Instead of founders stitching together banking, payments, cards, treasury across half a dozen tools, Florin puts all of that into one account. The unique part is that they say they're not just reselling another bank's rails, they're building the infrastructure themselves on a single ledger so money can move in real time. This is boring until you realize how whoever controls the money workflow becomes very hard to replace. Interesting. They were founded in this year, and then they have a team of 3, and they're also based out of San Francisco. That's interesting. So they're trying to get into the banking space, right? But it also just sounds stitching together banking payment. Florin, I don't know what we're giving Florin. I feel like it has potential to be more than a feature risk, because it seems to be creating something new in the sense of how quickly we can move money around within a business, and it doesn't seem to be heavily reliant on AI to achieve that, or maybe they're just not mentioning that. But for that reason, I might give Florin a D. I don't think it's revolutionary in any way. I'd assume it's going to be hard to navigate the banking and the treasury world, so we'll leave it with a D for now. Next up is Bloomy. Bloomy is trying to give every student a personalized AI learning path. I like this. It uses AI to figure out what startup or what students should learn, and what they should learn it, or when they should learn it. Instead of forcing every kid through the same pace, they are starting with K through 12 English language arts, math, and writing. They make it unique in its mastery learning angle. The goal is not just to help students finish assignments, but to keep adapting until they actually understand the material. Team of one founded this year out of San Francisco. What is that cramming school that's based off of like Japanese education or cram culture, where you have to repeat the Kumo, I think is what it's called. You have to repeat the exercise until you get 100% on the assignment. Then you can move on to the next one. Sounds brutal, but it seems to be working. I think I saw something that Bloomy is increasing scores 2x for students who are learning somehow. I don't know how they're getting to that metric, but on uniqueness, I'd put them pretty low. I feel like I've seen a lot of AI learning tools, but I think in its ability to be game changer, if they can be the one to crack that space and get the whole economy to shift into a AI-based education, because right now, as a result of AI and technology, we're one of the first generations to actually have a lower test score than our parents, which I think since the 1940s has only been going upwards. So AI really needs to save us from this, in the sense of we need to be able to do better on our test scores without having to use AI to get the answer. So Bloomy, there's so much risk to this, right? What content do you have? What is the moat that protects you from just being eaten up by ChatGPT educational model? So many teachers already use AI, so I'd need to learn more about how Bloomy, do they have all the training set up? I don't know. That's something I'd need to look more into. But next is Rex. Rex helps large companies get paid, focuses on order to cash, which is a messy process for invoices to customer, follow-ups to payment collection. Rex uses AI agents that run continuously in the background, handling invoices, customer exceptions, emails, portals, handoffs. What makes it unique is they claim they already are managing $500,000 in receivables and cutting manual follow-up cycles from weeks to hours. They were founded this year, 2 members based out of London. I think that's impressive. They already have so much in receivables under management, but Rex just seems to be in a risky situation. I just imagine going forward, a lot of companies will either have their own personal one set up, which maybe Rex helps companies do that and it's an easy purchase, versus I think the software moat is disappearing. So yes, this could be a useful tool going forward, but unless there's some sort of linking to banking that gives them significant advantages or something else in that realm, I don't understand how someone within a company who works on this for a year with a team of 4 doesn't recreate Rex for their mid-sized company so they don't have to pay Rex a portion of, or even a management fee. So that's where I'm like, I think it escapes the F tier, but it lands in D tier, in my opinion. CareGP is building an AI agent to run primary healthcare operations. The pitch is simple. Clinics are overloaded. The AI agents can take on more of a operational work so healthcare teams can run more efficiently. We make it interesting. What makes it interesting is the market. Primary care is a huge mess. It's huge and it's a mess and full of admin pain. What makes it risky is that IC public description is still broad, so the big question is whether they have a specific workflow wedge. I think the one thing that came to mind when I was reading their description was that I can't imagine something like, a lot of hospitals already use Epic, and Epic has such a hold in the hospital space to where at some point I just feel like Epic's going to come out with a AI tool that's going to wipe out a lot of the transcribing AIs, as well as something like CareGP where their management of other, just like that administration role, can be cut down and their efficiency improved. So I feel like that puts CareGP at that feature risk. It doesn't sound like there's any real moat other than they're going to be the first one to build it and have users. They're a 10-person team founded in 2024 out of Sydney, Australia. Interesting. So on to the next startup, Markov. Markov is building the data layer for computer use AI. Everyone wants AI agents that can click, type, browse, fill out forms, and use software like humans. Markov sources high quality tasks and data to train those computer use models. What makes it unique is that they are not trying to be the agent, they are selling the training fuel that makes the agent better. Interesting. So their mode is unique training data. And my first initial question is, how hard is it to actually just replicate or generate your own training data? And how many customers do they have, and how hard is it to do that? I feel like on a lot of these, Markov is scoring a little lower on a lot of these for me. I like that they're selling their data, and they're gonna hopefully continually expand and collect training data, but it just seems like once you sell that data, what then, right? Are you licensing that data? But if it's already trained once, what's there to go? I don't think it's a feature risk, but we'll leave it at D for now. They're a 2-person team founded this year, and they're based out of San Francisco as well. I think that makes the 4th one based out of San Francisco. Cerenovus is the next startup. They're building a company brain that AI can reason through. It takes documents, PDFs, emails, Slack messages, spreadsheets, and meeting notes, then turns them into a single markdown knowledge graph with AI agent integration. The unique part is that they are not just searching company files, they're trying to map the company as a system and infer where operations are inefficient. The pitch is that instead of hiring consultants or asking around for 3 weeks, effective executives get evidence-based answers in minutes. I think this one's going to be a feature risk for me. It seems like they're just parsing a company's information and using that to inform executives on what's going on. I think something like Azure or whatever AI comes base with Microsoft, right? Copilot has a better shot of just giving that form of input to the customer than like an external application. I think they can get some customers and sell the business for a profit and be a successful startup. I don't see it being a game-changing startup by any means, but I think overall this one has a feature risk that makes it hard to give it a better score. What's next? Did we miss any? Glen, we gave Glen a low score, didn't we? Poth Labs helps companies figure out why users behave the way they do. Analytics tools can tell you the user quit, failed to activate, or abandoned checkout. But Poth tries to explain why it connects to company data, creates hypotheses, then validates them with adaptive user interviews and feedback. What makes it unique is it connects product analytics with customer research instead of treating it as a separate tool. So it sounds like a better version of Cerenovus in the sense of they bring their own external information and use that to help create a hypothesis and do all that. But that just seems like general AI could do that better, and there's not really that much unique input brought in by that. I don't know what to say. I like the name a lot. They're a 2-person startup, started this year, based in San Francisco. Next is Guild. Guild is building an AI native defense contractor. Instead of waiting for slow, expensive defense procurement cycles, Guild says it predicts government demand, manufactures in-house, and delivers defense contracts end to end. The unique part is they are not just selling software or defense to the defense companies. They claim they're combining contracting, operation, manufacturing, and finance in one AI native business model. If I like this. I think any startup that is more than just software is going to be harder. I think it ends up just being another business at the end of the day, because I imagine most defense contractors are transferring into or transitioning into an AI operated or AI informed business. But for right now, I'm deciding if we give it a B or a C. Let's see. That's where their products are going to be standard, right? But it's going to be predictive, which is nice, more efficient. It's hard for me to go above a C for this startup. I think there's just a lot that is in uniqueness. I think there's not that much unique about what I'm reading. It doesn't really stand out to me compared to other businesses. The real question is, are we leaving Baud at S tier relative to its peers? I think we leave it. I think compared to everything else we've seen, a lot of the other startups are single domain. I'd love to do a deeper dive into all of these, see some numbers, see the team, see why Combinator invested into them and why they think that they have a better shot of doing these tasks than, say, larger players. But a lot of startups are just created to be sold at the end of the day, so I wouldn't be surprised if they already have a purchaser in mind when they start building or they accept these startups. So those are our 10 startups. I can't say too many memorable startups out of here, but I'd have to double back and look at them. Guild is 2-person team based out of New York. So we've had New York, London, San Francisco, and Sydney, Australia. Half of those all being San Francisco, which is to be expected. But yeah, thank you for watching the video. Stay tuned. I'm kind of liking this. I want to see other startups were accepted into YC this year or this summer. If you guys think I didn't understand or want to better explain, if you're one of the founders in this team, please reach out. I'd love to get your inside information on your startup. But also, if you have any dissenting opinions on where these startups belong, let me know in the chat. I will respond. But yeah, stay tuned for the next video.